Good morning. It is Wednesday, March 25th. This morning we're going to take a look at Chapter 9, Section 3, Measures of Center. So just like in the classroom, you need to make sure that you have out your notebook and your pencil and that you're ready to take some notes, so when you go to practice this, you'll have something to refer back to. Of course, you can always refer back to the video as well. So a measure of center is a value that attempts to describe the typical value of a data set. There are three types of measure of center: the mean, the median, and the mode. Notice the range is not included in that. Before we go on, let's review what mean, median, and mode. How do we calculate those? What do they look like? What are they? So the mean is the average of the set of data. And remember, you find that by adding up the data and divide by the number of data in the set. And remember, a way to remember that would be the mean teacher averages your grade. The second one is the median. Remember, the median is the middle of a highway. It's the middle of the set of data. And you find that by crossing off till you reach one number in the middle. And what happens if there's two? Well, remember, if there's two, you have to add those and divide it by 2. The last one is the mode. The mode is the one that occurs the most. And we had a little thing to remember that by saying the mode and most both start with MO. So how do you choose which one to use when you're looking at a set of data? I've created this flow chart. Now, a flow chart is a series of questions that you ask yourself, and based on that answer, will let you know if you move on to the next or you end. So the first question you have to ask yourself is the data numerical? If the data is not numerical, the best measure of center is mode. And remember, we went over a couple of examples before break. One of the examples that did not have numerical data was when we were looking at the types of movies. There was comedy, action, horror. I think there was one more. But those are not numerical, so we would use the mode. If you answer yes, then you're going to ask yourself the next question: is there an outlier? Remember, an outlier is a piece of data that just doesn't quite belong with the rest. When we went around the room and everybody gave their ages, you guys, your ages, there is no outlier. But when my age is added into things, there is an outlier. So, is there an outlier? No. Then you're going to use the mean. If you answer yes, then you're going to ask yourself this next question: is there several repeated data? If you answer no, then you want to use the median. Remember, that's going to be that middle number. If you answer yes, then it's going to be the mode again. Okay, so please refer back to this. At any time, you're able to pause the video and take notes. Okay, let's look at a few examples. What's the first thing you have to do when you get a data set? If you said put it in order from least to greatest, you're absolutely correct. So these, you don't have to write these down. Let's just go over these together. So you have test scores of 93, a 92, a 38, and an 89. So which measure of data would be the best? So the first thing, remember, you want to ask yourself, is the data numerical? Yes, it is numerical. The second question you need to ask yourself, is there an outlier? That 38 definitely looks like an outlier to me. So therefore, we would want to use the median, because there is an outlier, but there is no repeated data. Okay, the next question. The average age of a classmate. I kind of gave you a clue about this one a few minutes ago. So, is the data numerical? Is there an outlier? There's probably not an outlier. So we're going to use the mean. That's great. Okay, how about the next one? How do you get to school? Okay, well, let's think about the different ways we could get to school. We could ride a bus. We could be dropped off by our parents. We could ride a bike. We could walk. So are those numerical data? No. The answer to that is definitely not going to be numerical. So that one is going to be the mode because the data is not numerical. Okay, so we're going to go through some other examples. You're going to look for the mean, the median, and mode of the data. Choose the measure that best represents the data and explain your reasoning. This would be a good time to pause the video and try to do these. Okay, so I paused my video and corrected the word that. That should be that instead of the. And you can also see that I have answered the question. I started by putting the data in order from least to greatest. I found the mean. I added all of these numbers, and then I divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which gives me a mean of 67 and 25 hundredths. The median, that's going to be that middle number, and if you start crossing off numbers till you get to the middle, you see we've got those 2 in there. So I have to add those and divide by 2, and that's going to give me 51 and a half. There is no mode. None of the data are repeated. And the best measure of center is going to be the median. And it's going to be the median because of the outlier. Okay, I'm going to move the book over. Here is the second question. Okay, again, you're looking for the mean, the median, and the mode, and you're going to choose the measure that best represents the data, and you're going to give an explanation. So now is a good time to pause the video. I'm going to pause my video as well. I will be back in just a second. Okay, when we resume the video, we see we needed to start with putting the data in order from least to greatest. I found the mean. You add up all the data and you divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the mean is 110. The median, remember that's that middle number. If I start crossing off on each end, I end up with 2 left in the middle. I have to add those and divide by 2, so the median is 99. The mode, 150 is repeated more than once, so my mode is 150. And the measure of center is going to be the median. Is the data numerical? Yes. Is there an outlier? Yes. Are there several repeated data? Well, just having 2 of the same doesn't mean that that's several. Several, you're going to look for 3, 4, probably more than 4. So we're going to answer no there. And because we answer no, the correct measure is going to be the median. Okay. All right, so now we're going to look at what happens when we remove an outlier. So we're going to look at travel time to school in minutes. So we have 8, 10, 10, 15, 20, and 45. Notice these are already in order from least to greatest. Our job is to find the mean, the median, and mode with and without the outlier. And then we're going to answer which measure does the outlier affect the most. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video again. You should do the same. Try to find the mean, the median, and the mode with and without the outlier. And then we're going to look and see which measure is affected the most. So when we look at our set of data, let's all make sure that we realize that 45 is definitely the outlier here. Okay, so go ahead and pause your video. Okay, so if we look, the mean, the median, and the mode with the outlier, so with that 45, let me move that down just a little bit. So to find the mean, remember we're going to add these and we divide by 6 and we get a mean of 18. If we look for that middle number, we end up with 10 and 5 in the middle, so you add that and divide by 2, you end up with 12 and a half. And our mode is 10. Okay, so that's with the outlier. So now let's take a look at what happens without the outlier. So when you take that 45 out, you're left with 5 pieces of data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when we find the mean, it comes out to be 12 and 6/10. The median, remember that's that middle number, that's 10. And the mode is also 10. So now we're going to answer the question, which measure does the outlier affect the most? So now we're just going to compare these. The mean goes from 18 down to 12 and 6/10. The median goes from 12 and a half to 10. And the mode, if you look at that, that stayed the same. So which one had the biggest change in it? Which one was affected the most? Definitely the mean. The mean decreased by 5 and 4/10, whereas the median only decreased by 2 and 5/10. Okay, remember you have to, when you're doing a with and without, when you take that without, when you take that out, remember that decreases your data by 1. You need to make sure that you're dividing by, in this case, we divided by 5 without. All right, let me go ahead and turn the page. All right. This would be one of those word problems in class that we would be doing together. We would not be doing this. I would not have you write this down. Okay. So we're going to look now at what happens when you change the value of a data set. So here's a video game with prices. And this is a video game price with shipping. So here's the question we're trying to answer. How does a $4.98 shipping charge affect the mean, the median, and the mode? Okay. Now I'm going to move this up. You can see, so this is the chart. I want you guys to complete this chart, mean, median, and mode, and we're going to compare. We're going to see what happens here. Okay? So at any time, I move this back down. At any time, actually, let me move it up. At any time, remember, you can pause the video to write down what you need to write down. So you don't necessarily have to worry about writing this down, but maybe you're probably gonna want to do this because that's what I'm asking you. I want you to tell me, how does this $4.98 shipping charge affect the mean, the median, and the mode? So this is the original price. This is the price with shipping. Okay, so go ahead and pause your video. I'm going to pause mine, and when we come back, we'll see what happens. All right, thanks to Video Magic, our chart is now completely filled in. So with the original price, the mean was $35.77, and with the shipping charge, it was $40.75. That's an increase of $4.98. What do you notice here? Same thing. All right, the median, the original price, it was $31.83. With the shipping charge, it was $36.81. An increase of $4.98. So that plus there is going to indicate an increase. And then the mode, with the original price, it was $53.42. And then with the $4.98 shipping charge, it bumps the mode to $58.40. So it again increased by $4.98. Okay, so what do you think would happen if the price was decreased by $3? You should see a decrease of 3, a -3 for the mean, the median, and the mode. Okay? So here are your 2 assignments. You're going to go to Schoology. You should be logged in and ready to go, registered for that by now. If not, you need to make sure you reach out to me so I can help you get going with that. You have 2 assignments on there. One is an exit ticket. It's labeled 9.3 exit ticket. I will give you a hint. That's going to be a true or false question today. And then 9.3 measures of center textbook assignment. That's what it's labeled. So what I've done is I've pulled questions from the textbook. I've loaded them into Schoology for you to answer. Most of them, they're either fill in the blank or they're multiple choice. It's pretty much what we would be doing if we were in class. Okay? Please remember, if you have any questions, please make sure that you're contacting Mrs. Biansko or myself. We are definitely here to help you. We want to help you. I know this is different for everybody. We'll be back in class before you know it. And congratulations on completing your first lesson. Remember, this should, overall, everything should take about an hour to do between the video and your assignments. So if you're finishing way under time, you might want to make sure that you are taking your time and doing things the right way. All right? You guys have always heard me say that. Make sure you take your time. Slow down and take your time. All right? I miss you guys.